Hey everyone, my name is Daniel. In today's video, we're going to learn how we can enhance Copilot Studio's use of knowledge. So in the last few weeks, we did a lot. First of all, we learned about what this knowledge functionality is all about and how we can leverage it. I showed you how you can use your existing content, such as files that you may have, such as Word documents, internal content websites, which is SharePoint, or databases such as Dataverse, or even external resources that you can use as knowledge. Next, we looked at all of these templates that are now available in Copilot Studio and how we can learn so much from that. In fact, one of them is called as Website Q&A, where we were able to modify it to suit our needs. So in this video, we're going to build on top of that. So we're going to use everything that we learned about knowledge, all the ideas that we got from the templates, and go ahead and build our own custom Copilot Studio and even build our own custom topics in that Copilot Studio, really customizing it to the way we want it. So stick around, this is very important. It will take your Copilot Studio knowledge to the next level. But first, here's my intro video. So let's spend a few minutes understanding this concept of topics. Topics is one of those key features that you will leverage in Copilot Studio when you start to build your custom Copilot. And as the name suggests, which is topics, what is the topic of conversation that you're having with this Copilot? Because when you go and build one from scratch, you can actually have multiple topics in one Copilot, and the topics can keep switching around based on the conversation that you're having. So let me show you this one example. This one called Teams Navigator Copilot. It's actually one of the templates that's provided. And as I go and click on it, and it goes directly inside our studio, and on the top next to Overview and Knowledge, there is Topics. You see that there's a whole bunch of these already created. And this is coming part of the template, so you can actually go and take a look at it and learn something from it. Now, as you can see, there's different topics over here. Everything from lookup employee, lookup manager, search user. As you can see, each of the topic is a very specific situation. And that's the most important thing, is what it is that you want to do for that topic. Now, there are two ways to create a topic. When you come on the top, you can click on the Add a Topic. You can either create one from blank, and now you've even got the functionality to create one with Copilot. So if I click on the Create with Copilot, this little pop-up window comes in, you give it a name, you give it a description of what you want this topic to do, and it'll actually go and create it. The other way to do it is create it from blank. So if I go and click on the option here, create it from blank, it gets us directly inside the studio piece, and this is what we start with. What we see over here is trigger, and this is called as a node. And if you go and hover on the plus sign, you can go and add more nodes. So keep that in mind. Each of these little pieces are called as nodes, and you can go and add more nodes. Also, on the top left, when you're creating your own topic, by default, it is called as untitled. So you need to go and give it a name. So one of the first things you are going to do in this topic is give it these phrases which will trigger this topic. Because that's what it is when I'm going and starting a conversation pertaining this topic, there should be some key phrases that tells the Copilot, oh, I need you to now come into this topic and then follow all these nodes that we have. So it's very important that you go and start putting in these phrases over here. And here's some good tips. You can either go and put in short sentences with 5 to 15 words. Keep it focused on a very specific issue, basically that one issue. Don't worry about uppercase or lowercase, which is capitalizing words over there. Most importantly is be very specific. So the best is to go and put in at least 5, but make sure that at least you put more than 5. So right over here, we can go ahead and start adding phrases. So for example, I'll go and say things such as new team member, all right? So that's one. The moment I type in, click on enter, the phrase is added. So this is basically how you go and add those very specific phrases. After that, you can go and put in all these other nodes. So you can go and click on that, and you want to go and put a send a message, which is just go ahead and starting in the one simple message. And that message has got other functionalities, going ahead and putting in with an image, with a video, adaptive card to really go ahead and customize it, or something with a quick reply. You've got other nodes. A good one is to ask a question. This is the place where you go ahead and ask a question, and you go ahead and save the response that you're going to get. And there's multiple ways to go and get that response. You can go ahead and put in multiple choices so people can just go and pick and choose that they want, or you can go ahead and grab their entire response. See over here, user's entire response. If I go and select that, everything that the user has typed in automatically gets captured over as a string. So this identify has all these type of responses that you can go ahead and pick and choose to save the answers from your questions. So now let's go and take that knowledge functionality to the next level by building our own Copilot. So let me give you a little background of what this Copilot is all about. Some of you who know me know that I also do musical holiday lights as a hobby. In fact, here is my Facebook page. It is called as Christmas Family Lights. Also, here is just a quick overview of my YouTube channel, which actually has recordings of the light work that I do. I'll go ahead and take these links and put in the description below in case you're interested. But important thing over here, as you will see, all of this. So as you can see, these lights, they are actually pixels. They are smart bulbs. Then all of these arches, you go and see this cone, these snowflakes on the windows. When you see the blinking on the tree trunk, that's actually called as a matrix. All of these are important props that are used. In addition, you have to actually go and buy these from separate vendors, and each vendor will specialize in something. So there's a lot of information that I have to actually keep track of, and so many other websites. In fact, there's 6 to 7 websites that I use. There is this called as the Pixel Controller. This is called as Holiday Coro. This is called as Boscoyo Studio, Wally's Light. Here's Motto's Designs. And then I also go ahead and buy accessories from Amazon, and also the Lowe's, which is basically a home and garden type of a website. So as you can see, I use a bunch of these things, and that's where the idea came, is that instead of me going and searching each and every one of these external sites individually, let me add them as knowledge in my Copilot Studio, and then after that, go ahead and tweak it if I need to. So let's go and start building that from scratch. So I'm in Copilot Studio. I'm going to click on Create, and I'm going to click on New Copilot. For now, I'm just going to go and skip to Configure. So I'll go and click that. And this Copilot, we're going to go and give it a name. I'm going to go and call that as Holiday Lights Copilot. All right. And I can even go and change the icon. I'm going to click on the icon piece over here. I'm going to make sure I meet the requirement of less than 30 kilobytes in size. So I'll click on that one, go into my Copilot Studio, click on that nice image that I have. Looks great over here. I'll go and click on Save. And then I'll go and give it some description. I'm going to say this Copilot will get the information the user seeks from reputable websites. I'm going to skip the knowledge piece for now. I like everything I see so far. So I'm just going to go and click on Create. So now it is going and creating our Copilot from scratch. The first thing we're going to go and do is add our knowledge sources over there, all right? We'll do that first. Then we also have to go and add some topics, and we'll take care of that as well. So let's wait for this Copilot to be created. And there you go. It is almost done. We are loading in over here. I like it that I can see my custom Copilot on top. The icon looks great. Everything else is good. So now let's just jump in and start adding our knowledge. In our knowledge, it's basically just going to be these published websites. So let me go and add all of those 7 some websites that I'm using. The first one is this website called Holiday Coro. I'll go ahead and add it. I'll make the change a little bit on this name. The name itself is just going to be Holiday Coro. I'll remove the .com, take a look, .com. The description piece, let me go and do a search over here. Yep, I'll keep that as is. Let me go and add the other one as well, which is the Motto's Design. So I'll go and change that. The Motto's Designs, do that. And then basically go and change it over here. So you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing over here, which is why let me fast forward and go and add the remaining 5 as well. All right, so I've gone ahead and added all of these public websites as my knowledge, and now I'll go and click on Add. And now it's going to go ahead and load, and we also need to make sure that each of these are verified. So let's wait for that to finish. There you go, it's all done. All of these knowledges which are coming from public websites have been added, and the status is ready, which is usually what happens in public websites. The status goes really fast to ready because they are all public websites. So we've got our knowledge piece done over here. And if you notice on the bottom right, this bot goes ahead and gives me this introduction description. It's a little too descriptive, so let me go and tweak that as well. For that, I'll go straight into my topics. In my topics, go to the system one. That's the way you want to go. And in this conversation start, when you go and click on it, you basically just see these 2 nodes. It's got a trigger and a message. And when I click on this message, this is where all of that information that you see over here shows up on this side. And you've got full flexibility to go ahead and tweak it. So that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and highlight this entire thing and just change it to something simple. I'm going to go and say, I'm here to provide you the information you seek from the following reputable websites. And then let me go ahead and add websites. And then let me go and add the name of these websites as well. All right, so I'll go and put this in this order. And here are the 7 companies that I use. And as a full disclosure, I'm not affiliated with any of them. I'm just a big fan of all the stuff that I get from their websites. So this is it. I like it. So I'm just going to go and click on save. That way we make sure that our topic is saved. And if I do a refresh, you will actually see that the update trigger comes in over here. So I want to go and do a test right now because we've only done a few things. Yes, we went ahead and added some external websites for our knowledge, and we used this existing topic and just tweaked it a little bit. In fact, the only thing we tweaked was the text over here. So let me go and ask this one question. It says, where do I get this controller? Controller is basically the brains of the operations when it comes to this music holiday lights. That's the one that will take the music, and then based on the music sequence, it will fire off and send out information to all these lights to blink in a certain way. The controller takes care of that, all right? So now when I go and ask this question, where do I get a controller? And I go and hit on enter, it is going ahead and referencing the knowledge, and then it goes and gives me this answer. There's one little thing I want to do is on the ellipsis piece over here, I want to turn on the track between topics because then we can actually see how this Copilot is working. So let me go and refresh this, and then let me go and ask the exact same question. Is where do I get a controller? I'll go and click on it. Now you will see that it jumped straight away to the conversational boosting topic, and it leveraged the creative generative answers node. Remember the same node that I showed you? That is where it's getting this information from. So let's see how this node works. So when I go and click on it and actually go and take a look at the properties, on the right, this is the setting that we see. So I can see that it is using our knowledge sources, but it also has this toggle switch on. Basically, it is allowing the AI to use its own general knowledge and apply that to our custom knowledge. Since I'm very picky about where I buy my stuff from, I don't want AI to help me over here. So I'm going to toggle this off for now. I'm going to go and click on save just to make sure that this setting returns, which is good. I'll go ahead and refresh this and let me ask that exact same question just to see if there's any change. So I'll go and click on enter. It is directing directly back on the conversational boosting, going in and leveraging the creative generative answers. And guess what? It came back with the exact same answer. So at least I know that for a fact that it is using only my knowledge. Now, here's the thing. I'm very specific about where I buy my stuff from. And the question that I asked was for the controllers. This controller, I only buy it from a few companies. I don't actually go to Amazon to buy them. So I want my Copilot also to do something similar. It should tell me, hey, these are the set of companies that specialize only on the controller pieces, and then give me answers from those websites. So it's for that reason I think out of the box is not going to work. What we need to do is go ahead and add our own topics, and we'll replicate a lot over here what we are seeing in this conversational boosting, but let's go and create our own topics. And I foresee us creating at least 3 of them. One of them we'll create from scratch, and we'll call that as the controller one. And then the other one might be for those lights, those smart lights called as pixels, and maybe another one for the accessories. But let's build one together so you can actually see how that works. All right, so we're back in our Copilot over here. I'm going to go my topics. And the first thing I'm going to do is delete this lesson 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to delete it. If you want, you can actually go ahead and just turn the status off. I don't have to use it, so I'll just go and delete it. So let me go and take care of that really fast. It's deleting the topic called lesson 1. Let me go and do the same thing for lesson 2. Yes, it is going ahead and deleting that. There you go, deleting topic. Lesson 2 is deleted. Now let me go and do the third one. And there you go. At least these 3 are done. So that way I just make sure that those don't hinder the overall Copilot performance, all right? Took care of that. If you want, you can just go and toggle them off also. I just went ahead and deleted. So what I'm going to do now is click on add a topic. I'm going to click one from blank, all right? So I'll just do that. And this one, I'm going to call that as controller because that's basically what it is. It's going to be for the controller. And like I showed you in the early demo, in my trigger, I need to put in some very specific phrases. So I'll go and click on this edit over here. And I'm actually already got some phrases ready over here. It has to ready over here. this is what it is. It's going to be device, controller, system, brains, control, technology, extension. So I'm just going to select all of this, come over here, and I'll do a paste and click on enter. It automatically goes and fills it. I just love how this functionality works. That's what I'm doing. Again, keep in mind, you can use these tips. Okay, I just put in single words over here. You have to at least put in 5. But then you can also go and put in short sentences, all right, with 5 to 15 words. So use these tips over here. For the sake of this demo and for what I'm doing, I'm going to go and click on save because I've got this trigger. So if anytime now people have something to do with the controller, whether they call it controller or device or brains or something, at least this topic should be triggered. So the next thing that I'm going to do is now go ahead and add that generative AI node and customize it. So I'll come over here. I'll go to my advanced, click on the generative answers option, and then the input. Where is this input going to come? Well, we have two options. One is I could actually go ahead and put in one of these ask questions, and the questions I can put in some choices, or we can even see if any of the conversation that the user has had can be useful. So check this out. In the input, I'm going to click over here, and in the system, as I scroll down over here on the activity text, if I go down, there's something called as last message text. Let's try that first, right? So I'm going to click on the last message text just to see if the last thing that the user has typed, if that will be helpful. Will that give me the enough information? But we can't just stop there. What we have to do is go to the edit sources over here, turn on this toggle switch, and then pick and choose exactly which ones that we want from. So the main company that focuses on this controllers is this company called Pixel Controller. So I'm going to select that one, all right? So I'm going to scroll down over here to the advanced section just to make sure, yes, it's got a send a message for text only already there. So that'll automatically send us a message. That message is actually the answer from this creative generated answers node. So I'm going to go and click on save right now just to make sure all of this setting is good. Sometimes you might even have to go ahead and publish it, but at least for now, the save should be from it. But at least from now, the save should be sufficient. So let's wait for that to finish. There you go. The topic has been saved. So I'll go and click on the test over here. This is great because it remembers the previous conversation, so we can do a quick recap. The question was, where do I get a controller? All right, I'm just going to highlight and Control C. Initially, it went to the Amazon one because Amazon was one of the external websites on our knowledge, but now I've changed it. So I'll go and refresh this one over here. Also make sure that, yep, I've got the track between topics turned on, which means it went straight to a conversation starter topic. I'll go and put the question again. Where do I get a controller? Click on enter. This time it goes into a controller. Why? Because the trigger picked it up. It used the generative one, and hey, it actually used the website that I wanted. It gave me even a link to it. So I'll go and click on the link just to make sure, and voila, it takes me to this website where I buy my controllers from. This is neat because that topic that we created is helping to navigate Copilot Studio, use only the specific knowledges that we want for our scenario. And in this case, the scenario was to go ahead and give answers very specifically for controllers. So now that you see how we did the controller, let's go and create another one for, say, the lights. So I'll come back over here, back to our topics, go ahead and create a topic, create it from blank. I'll go ahead and call this one as lights, L-I-G-H-T-S. And then I'm going to go and add a few triggers over here as well. So let me click on the edit. I've already got some ready over here. Let me go and highlight them. Control C, come over here, click on enter, Control V, hit enter, and all of my phrases are in. Again, you can go and tweak it however you see fit, but for the sake of this example, I've at least gone and given 5 of them. So I'll go and click on save because that one's ready. Topic is saved. You know what's next. Let's go back into advanced, get the generative answers. In my answers, what's going to be the input? Let's do the exact same thing. Let's go to the system. It was a little bit to the bottom, so here, last message.text, that's the one. And then over here on the edit sources, I'm going to go and turn this on because it's for selected ones. And now these are the companies that I buy it from. Wally's Lights is one of them. Holly Decoro is one of them. Moto's Designs is one of them. So I'm going to go and select all of these ones because that's the one that I want. And then I'll just go to the advanced section just to make sure that the send message is good. I'll go and click on save. And now, once it is done and it's saved, let's do a test over here as well, all right? Because now we remember we've got 2 different topics. Each of them have got very specific triggers that I just want to make sure there is no overlapping. So for this one, I'm going to ask this one specific question. Let me just go and reset this one over here, refresh it. And the question that I'm going to ask is, where can I get the holiday lights? So remember, it's got holiday lights in it. So it should pick up our new node, which is lights. It did. The trigger picked it up, and then it went to the generative answers. And hey, it's actually getting it only from those 3 websites. It didn't go to Amazon or any of those places. It specifically searched across the knowledge that I told it to. And that's the beauty of the generative nodes on this side. So that's pretty neat. Let's finish the third one also, which is the accessories one. So I'll come back over here to our topics. I'll go and create another topic from blank. I'm going to call this one as accessories with a capital A. That looks good. Let me go and add some phrases to it. That's the list that I've got over here. So let me grab all of these ones. First one being accessories. Let me go back in over here, click on the edit, paste it, click on enter. And now I've got all my phrases over here for this trigger. I will go and click on save just to make sure that this thing gets saved. Looks good. The topic is saved. Let's go ahead and add our create generative answers node. Back over here in the input piece, let me go and look on the system. I know it was a little bit at the bottom, last message.txt, selected that. And now let's go and actually change our knowledge sources over here. Clicked on it, properties to the right, toggle this one on, and now I can select Amazon and Lowe's. These are the 2 stores/websites that I buy my accessories from. So I'm just going to select only these 2 and just make sure that I get on the bottom on the advanced. Yep, our message is good. So I'll go and click on save over here. And this time, let me ask this question. Where can I get accessories? And when I do that, click on the enter, it directly goes into our accessories topic because the trigger is over here. It's leveraging the generative AI. And for this time, when it showed Amazon, that's because we allowed it. Remember, those were the only 2 knowledge sources that we enabled in this creative one. So it's actually functioning exactly the way we wanted. So just to make sure, let's go and try those first 2 questions once again, just to make sure that each of the topics are functioning. So the first question I had asked was, where do I get a controller? Go ahead and enter that in. It goes into the controller topic, which means the triggers are functioning, gives me the answer that I'm looking for. If I go ahead and now ask the next question is, where do I get the holiday lights? That one is going and triggering the lights topic because the phrases are perfect over there and it gives me the answers. So this tells me that each of our topics are working perfectly. So isn't this exciting? We just created our own custom Copilot in Copilot Studio without using a single line of code. So we first started by adding in our knowledge, which is about 7 websites that we used. Then we created 3 topics, and the topics would be triggered based on very specific phrases. Also, in each of the topics, we used the generative AI node, but for each of them, we selected very specific knowledges that we needed based on that topic over there. But overall, we were able to tweak this Copilot exactly the way we wanted. So hopefully this video now gives you the confidence to go a little bit beyond in just adding knowledge, but also putting in some control by adding in some topics and then tweaking the way the knowledge is being used. And as always, keep using Copilot Studio. Hello. So if you like this video, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and smash that like button. Also, if you have a few extra seconds, can you go ahead and put in a comment? Either say something nice or give me ideas for my next video. And until then, see ya.